Listen, this was the best episode so far of this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. My girl Denise Richards came and delivered. She was effed up and lit and activated, but she came, she saw, she conquered. We had Cynthia Bailey, Denise, Camille, Faye Resnick, Kim Richards. Insanity. This episode was fun to watch. It was dramatic. It was emotional at the end. All in all, 10 out of 10. If The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills continues on like this, we are in for a great season. But before we get started off with this recap, I have to say, I had an iffy opinion about Miss Sutton Strack so far in the first 6 episodes because I felt like she was moving a bit funny, but I came to understand in this particular episode the beauty of her clocking the F in and reading Kyle to filth. To filth. And she did it in an amazing way. I'm just gonna start on the things that I remember in this episode that stood out to me personally. And, we started off where we left off last week, and we're still at the dinner of Kyle, this weed-infused thing, and Denise and Sutton and Kyle are still getting into it about, Kyle's behavior, why she's a little different nowadays, and her wedding band. And Sutton was giving her those questions and answers in a way that made Kyle's blood boil. And I have to say, it is good to see Kyle getting a little bit of her own medicine, because this woman, and I am a Kyle Richards fan, don't get it twisted, but this woman has come for people's necks, marriages, lives, and careers for almost 14 years on this show. At times she's scathed by like a fly on the wall, creating mess and drama, instigating and being messy. And Kyle, I really need to say this. This is exactly what you get after some time on the show. I mean, let's be honest. These women get huge checks, large sums of money. You got to show something. And I'm glad that not only is Kyle getting read a little bit for filth by her cast members, I'm also glad that Kyle herself is, being very initiative and showing the mess that is going on in her life currently. Obviously, no one wishes bad on anyone, but still. So these two are still getting into it. Sutton's being very condescending to Miss Kyle. Kyle is not having it at all. The tension is super thick. The tension is super spread out in the room. Everybody is just looking between the two of them, checking back and forth what the next scandalous thing is that's gonna come out of their mouths. But I can't even speak properly today. But then we move on to my girl, Denise Richards. Listen, I have to laugh. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude. And I feel like Denise came in so hot, but she was all over the place. That whole table was confused. That whole table was looking at her like, girl, put down that drink. Stop fueling your alcohol intake right now because we do not understand what you're saying. But let's cut the cameras really quickly and get to the serious part. What I thought was very phony of pretty much the whole table except, Garcelle, Crystal, and Sutton partially. We all know what Denise was referring to, and it was not the fact that Erica was talking about threesomes and foursomes and eighthsomes at Denise Richards' at Denise Richards' garden party where the kids were present 4 years ago. Yes, that might be partially the reason, but you cannot have pretend amnesia. And I'm looking at you, Erica. I love the way that you were calm and collected and you didn't freak the F out and started lashing out. I like the calm and collected Erica, but I do not like all of the ladies pretty much playing Denise like that, because Denise's marriage was played on. The whole thing with Brandy was a total mess. And I myself, as a Brandy fan, a huge Brandy fan, sometimes think about this whole thing and I say to myself, I mean, I can envision the two of them honestly hitting it off and starting some type of sexual affair, but that's not nor here nor there. The fact that y'all chose to potentially or not potentially out a fellow cast member was wild. That whole thing was wild. Probably one of, with Lisa Vanderpump's exit season, one of the most vile things that have happened on the show, because you do not play around with someone's sexuality, and if they're not comfortable to come to you and confirm said rumor, and especially if you do that on camera, girl, I cannot blame Denise for leaving. Yes, was she a little bit hypocritical? Was she a little bit, did she react in a very strange way when confronted? Yes, but you all know what you did to Denise. I mean, come on. Do not get on Crystal because she has probably not seen that season or is not into the show that much. I really don't think she had prior knowledge. And I love the way Garcelle backed Denise up, saying she was a little nervous probably beforehand coming to Kyle, and that's why she pre-drank at her house. What I thought was a little disappointing in this episode, and I'm not gonna lie, why in the hell didn't Camille speak or interject into any conversation? Please, I have not heard that a woman talk more than half a sentence this season. Why, Camille? I mean, did she speak? Was it cut out? She was just giving them looks, dirty looks, smiles. That's it. She was literally just there serving face and not serving any other purpose. I was like, Camille, come on. Something, you need to say something. But anyway, Cynthia also was a little quiet. I would have wished for her to get more involved, to, maybe, you never know, potentially switch over. If Atlanta gets rebooted for good, at least she'd still have a place on a show, because seeing Cynthia Bailey on my screen last week made me almost tear up. I miss Miss Bailey on The Real Housewives. It's crazy how used you get to someone when they're on a show for almost, 10, 11 years? But I'm getting off topic. So after Denise is saying, well, you know what you did, and everybody is having pretend amnesia, we all get up. Denise is like, Erica's a effing dumb I cannot curse in my video because it will get taken down. Everybody, and Denise is like to Kyle, can we talk privately? And Kyle is walking Denise over to the bar, and Denise is screaming at the hole in her wall. And Kyle was looking at her like, girl, I am concerned, baby. I am concerned. Denise was making not a single bit of sense. But anyways, they get into it at the bar. Then Sutton joins into the conversation, and Dorit decides to be messy and tell Kyle what Sutton said at the dinner table, that Kyle was allegedly in denial about something when asked where she was. So Kyle reopens the conversation with Sutton and is like, girl, what am I in denial about? And Sutton's like, well, I'm asking you. They go back and forth. Denise, leaves the scene, I guess, and the conversation focuses on Kyle and Sutton, and Dorit was trying to play nice and talking about how is your jacket, on backwards. It was giving a little phony. It was giving a little condescending. I'm not gonna lie. Denise was like, yeah, all good. Is your jacket back on? BITCH? And I was like, you cannot really blame Denise for being not that trustworthy towards this group of women, especially seeing the history and seeing what had happened between all of them. It's to be expected. But anyways, Kyle and Sutton get into it again. Kyle is making fun of the way what's her name? Sutton pushes around food on her plate, which I thought was very disgusting from Kyle. And the medication to her feet. And then Sutton's like, well, if you want to go low, I can go to hell. And Sutton was like, well, you already lost 2 sisters. Are you ready to lose another one? Pointing to her. And my God, Sutton was activated. She said, I'm going to put a mirror in front of you, Miss Richards, Miss Kyle, so you can exactly see how you treat people. And I am not gonna lie, I loved every single second of it. Yes, it was a low blow, but honestly, it was a low blow from Kyle too. Making fun of her feet medication and her esophagus having an issue or whatever that was. So now Kyle leaves the scene. Everybody's shook. Dorit's like, well, I think this is our key to go. Erica goes to Kyle and tries to console her. And I have to say, I like Erica's behavior right now. I like that she is a bit more calm and collected. But to be quite honest, individually, the storylines of the girls, of Erica, I do not care that much. I also wouldn't be mad if the cast gets shaken up for next season heavily, because I think it's maybe time for some of these ladies to go. But that's a topic for another video. What else happened in this episode? The day after this dinner party from Hell 2.0, Denise, Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal all meet up for lunch. They talk about what happened the day prior, and Denise, explains why she was upset and, recounts the story of Erica talking about threesomes in the close proximity of Denise's kids. And obviously, we all know Denise is very upset about more things than just that. So I am very interested to see how her other scenes in this season are going to go down with all the ladies. We then see Dorit and PK talking about, homeschooling the kids. PK does not seem to rationalize and seem to understand the fear that Dorit has due to the home invasion. And to be quite honest, I get where Dorit comes from, but I also get that the kids should experience public school because those public school years, they really do want on you and on your, development. So I think it is crucial for them to at least, you know, live a couple of years publicly at school and just see where the road takes them. We then have Kyle and Anna Marie meeting up, and Anna Marie is very similar to Tanya from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I don't know why I can't get warm with Anna Marie yet, because there obviously are some very heavy allegations going around right now about her husband. I urge you to look that up. But they play pickleball. Anna Marie tells us that she's very competitive. She is a nurse anesthesiologist. Her husband is an NFL player. Whatever, whatever. They play some pickleball. They talk about, Sutton's whole thing with Kyle. And also, what I forgot to mention is that Sutton actually even got into it with Miss Kathy Hilton because Kathy decided to scream and yell at Sutton after that whole Aspen thing. And let me just say, I believe 100% things that Erica and Lisa Rinna have said now. Actually, I do take that back. I believe 85% of what they have said about Kathy, because it just seems that sometimes Kathy is a nightmare to be around. Sometimes Kathy gets a little too aggro for my taste, and you clearly see that on Paris Hilton's reality show. The way she talks to her daughter is crazy. But anyways, the day after the pickleball thing between Anna Marie and Kyle, Dorit, Kyle, and Kim Richards meet up for a little hiking session, and we have Kim Richards re-entering the RHOBH scene. We come to find out she's done some work on herself. She started painting and coloring her walls at her home. And isn't that just so fitting for Kim? But I guess at the end of the episode, they all get emotional because, Kyle is not in a good space with Kathy. And that means automatically that she's not in a good space with Kathy's kids. Nikki, I think Baron, and Paris. So she gets excluded from everything if it's only a conflict regarding her sister, Kathy. It gets very emotional because Kim is like, well, life is too short and they can't spend all this time arguing. It's just not meaningful. And I guess when you come to a certain age, you need to really let go of those grudges. And I mean, Kathy, I think, is approaching 70. Kim is, I think, in her 60s, and Kyle is approaching her 60s. So I guess it's really that time where you reach that last half of your life where you have to take notice on how you argue with your family members, because those are going to be the people that are going to be there for you till the end of time, in a perfect world, at least. But anyways, I thought this episode was very, very good. I like that we spent almost 20 to 25 minutes on this dinner party. It was very entertaining. I hope this season continues on like this because, to be quite honest, I have been a little bored these past couple of episodes, but this episode was chef's kiss. So anyways, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.